three key objectives. First, we're going to talk about understanding your brand, really unplugging what is branding all about, the importance of understanding and discovering your brand, and how to identify the right area and marketplace for your brand. We're then going to talk about the key tools that comes to utilizing and giving your brand exposure, from Instagram to hashtags to reels. Jessica's going to walk us through everything you need to know to make sure that your brand stands out. And then last, understanding corporate selling. So how do we make sure that we're getting in front of the right audiences to sell our services and products? But before we go any further, we definitely wanted to give you a deeper dive and introduce you to the Career Mavericks. My name is Alicia M. Campbell, and I'm the founder and CEO of Call to Shift HR. And as Phil had said, Jessica Sinclair joins me as my partner in crime as the founder of Network Like You Mean It. She is a master of ceremonies and best-selling author that continues to help inspire individuals to own the room and to network into opportunities and to different partnerships that allow their businesses to thrive. Jessica and I are two women of color on a mission to help cultivate and produce high-performing students and adults in order to help them thrive in their careers and in their businesses. I have over 10 years experience in human resources and in business management, and I've started my own consultancy firm called To Shift HR. And as Jessica has as well, she has her own platform, Network Like You Mean It. She's also a best-selling author and really helps to understand how we can navigate and really optimize our key relationships. So without further ado, let's get going into the content. So branding. When we think about branding, there's this really incredible quote that talks about how branding is the process of connecting good strategy with good creativity. So when we think about what is a brand, what are key elements that I need to be thinking about the brand, it all comes down to what your business offers, as well as the creative elements that comprise of your brand. Because the brand is the outward appearance of your business. So by really focusing on branding, what we're doing is we're creating a really distinct identity for our business in the mind of our consumers. So that goes to our logo, our visual designs, our fonts and colors, our mission, our tone of voice, even in how we communicate and use our marketing copy. So branding is a really key concept that we need to understand as business owners when we're beginning to really market and get our product and service out into the marketplace. And one key example of a really strong brand is the Career Mavericks. So if you think about it, our colors are, the blush pink with the army green, we highlight it and accentuate different colors, but it's very clear on what we do and who our audience is. So it all comes back to our mission, our tone of voice, and our logo helps to emphasize that as well. And so people know when they're engaging with the Career Mavericks, they're going to get something fun, uplifting, upbeat, but also very educational and helpful as well. And when we think about a brand, we need to be mindful that it's about the whole customer experience. So our brand needs to be telling the story within 5 seconds. So understanding that our branding has to begin to be recognized with our key audience. It needs to have some type of emotional connection to what we offer from a product and service perspective. And it really needs to tell the narrative of what we do or what the product and service does based on the target audience that it's trying to connect with. So that's really important that as we think of the different elements of our logo, our tone, the way that our colors come to life, those are all demonstrating all those key elements of a story that we're looking to tell. From there, our brand really focuses on providing purpose and direction. When we think about what that looks like in regards to the example of this graphic here with iPhone, we see that it's very clear the phone is covering the individual space. So it's demonstrating privacy. But then, of course, there's the Apple logo right on the phone. So it's demonstrating that these devices provide privacy. They provide security and protection. So the brand is in an instant telling us the story that very simply by the individuals being blurred in the background, that they are focused on privacy protection and keeping your identity safe. So in literally 5 seconds, you know very clearly what the message is communicating and what the product is promising. From there, the brand continues to influence and guide on its purpose and direction. And so when you think about the power of the brand, It influences how we market. It influences how we continue to look at our packaging, what in the right workplaces or settings is our product or service going to thrive. And by making the branding as creative and strategic as possible, we're really aligning it to similar audiences that will be possible consumers of what we're selling and promoting in the marketplace. So a great example of this is Coca-Cola. When we think about Coca-Cola and what it provides as an experience, as a feeling, as a product, it has a really great element of resonating with happiness and togetherness. When we think about commercials we've seen, people are always happy and smiling and dancing when they talk about Coca-Cola. They then, of course, personalize some of the bottles to make it feel like this is your Coke, your experience. And so it's important that we understand and outline those key elements in our brand to ensure that we are driving the direction and purpose of our service and products. And then always great branding delivers strong business value. So thinking about how our product or service is well crafted, well created, built on strong foundations. And by doing that, we're really allowing our audience to have an element of creating trust by buying and utilizing our product and service. So they're able to feel connected, they feel that we have their best interests, and that there's a story that they can relate to and feel very connected with. And when we think about those three key components, we're really beginning to stem and focus on brand loyalty. That's when customers continue to buy our product and service over and over again because they love the experience, the story, and the purpose that our product or service gives to them. A great example is the Absolute liquor brand. When we think about what Absolute means and how you bring it to life at a party or at an event, you understand that it can bring you anywhere. Whether you're in New York or whether you're in Paris, you can have that Absolute experience. And so brands that really understand the value that they bring to their consumer and how they tie it back to a story and to a feeling really brings the brand to life and begins to see those, strong impressions of brand loyalty as often as possible. So really important when we begin to connect how branding connects to emotion, experience, and the story that we want to tell. So how do we begin to build a brand? How do we begin to position our brand, to understand how it's communicating to our market, to our audience, and how do we make sure that we can be different in the midst of so much competition? So first and foremost, we want to be mindful that branding needs to be simple. When your consumers see your brand, they need to know exactly what they're getting. So if you see the Career Mavericks logo, you'll know, okay, we're going to be getting informative information about how to network, how to build our business, how to communicate effectively, and really be on top of, our professional development. So it's simple, but through the logo, you're reliving that experience over and over again. From there, we want to think about what makes us unique. So what is the brand really demonstrating that doesn't get demonstrated in the market at the moment? When we think about Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, those advertisements and the presence of who it's being marketed to is very different. You get a different experience or aesthetic with Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, even though they're pretty much the exact same beverage. So that brand is conveying a message, whether there's people in the imagery or not, just by simply being a part of the packaging. And so that provides a unique opportunity for you to really connect with your audience and really relay the messaging on what you do best as a product or service. From there, we need to make sure our branding is focused. So it's very visually appealing and the elements of the visualization match and align to the messaging of the brand. So if we look at the Career Mavericks logo for a second, it's a simple C and M with the Career Mavericks at the bottom. We're focused, we're about our business, and we're here to deliver optimal value. That's what we're delivering and showcasing whenever anyone sees our brand on social media or in any of our key presentations. From there, we need to make sure that it's relatable, that people can understand and feel connected to what the brand is offering. So when you're building out your brand, make sure that you're including elements that speak to your target audience and in a language that they can relate to. So if there's elements of slang or elements of using different acronyms and words that relate to the audience you're trying to market to, make sure that's a part of your branding and a part of your marketing positioning as well. And then last is being consistent. The biggest thing with regarding marketing and branding is consistency. The way you show up time and time again is how you're going to build out that brand loyalty and how you're going to continue to deliver on the brand promise. And so by understanding how that consistency affects all the key elements of your brand is going to be really important to ensuring that you're building up your right audience and that you're setting the right tone and opportunity to make sales. So let's talk a little bit about a case study, Yellowtail. We're probably familiar with the Yellowtail alcohol brand. They have different wines in the liquor stores of all ranges and all different flavors. And so when Yellowtail was really thinking about creating their brand, they wanted something that was fun, approachable, easy to choose. And so when they started to move into the US market, that was really the key thing they wanted to focus on in order to differentiate themselves from the key competitor. We can see here we have some, clear bottles, some black bottles, and the messaging is very bold and in your face. But they started to realize that in the beginning, this was really not resonating with their target audience and really more too aggressive to kind of what they were trying to demonstrate as part of the key elements of their brand. So when we think about Yellowtail, they then started to change the way that their branding was going. So we see here on the right-hand side, Yellowtail, the go-to, something simple, something, sophisticated but easy, and also reminiscing about what makes, having a drink or a cocktail at an event something fun and enjoyable to do. So not complicating or making things tricky to identify, is this the right wine I want to go with? But seeing the brand, the bright yellow colors, that it's going to taste great, but also be something that's easy and everybody can enjoy. Then we see here another example. So as we think about the simplicity of the brand of Yellowtail, what are some of the things that we are seeing? Jessica, do you want to share some insight?
Sure. So right off, I noticed that it's breezy. You have a tree. I think of nature. I think of Napa Valley. I think of all of the different wineries. I love that they played on the white and the yellow, which also goes right back to the branding of Yellowtail at the bottom. I love the crisp feel. It could be autumn. It could be summer, which I love with this particular brand. It's not seasonal. You can drink wine anytime, anywhere. But with this particular ad, Alicia, you don't know what time of year it is. And I think that was very smart. I see the glass of wine, the light is hitting it. I love a brand that has really good colors, like you mentioned before, about emotion, right? When we think of a brand that stands out, you really want to align it with the color. For instance, Pepsi or Coca-Cola, rather, it's always the red can. And for the holidays, they put the Christmas tree, so you can build up on the color. Don't be afraid of building up on your brand colors. Every 6 months, a brand color can change. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this is a good one. I love this one.
Awesome. And so as Jessica just shared, it really goes back to making things simple. As their logo says, we take wine seriously, so you don't have to. Just focus on having fun and focus on being able to, really bring somebody into the event based on their beverage. Even the name, when we think about the name Yellowtail, and the figure on the bottle, it's a kangaroo. So it's, referencing its Australian origins, but it's also fun and adventurous and a little bit spontaneous. So you're getting that element all through the name of branding. And the visual identity, as Jessica called out, it's yellow, it's fun, it's engaging, and they use yellow no matter what bottle or, type of wine they're demonstrating. If it's a Shiraz or if it's a Merlot, a dark wine, a red wine or a white wine, they still go back to their brand colors and build off of it by highlighting different color palettes. So have fun with your brand, allow it to connect to you and see what feelings you have as you're creating your brand or logo. And that could be a really great way to begin to think about how you want your messaging to come to life, what tone do you want to have as you're thinking about your copy for your website and your different marketing tools. So the brand can be incredibly impactful, from if you want something more serious, if you want something more fun, or something in between. And that's exactly what they did with their communication strategy. So, focusing on different in store activations and having brand ambassadors, and really just creating fun and approachable ads to demonstrate their brand and how they really make it come to life. And then, as Jessica said, building on the color palette based on the holidays and what's going on. So here are their, Christmas advertisements where it's, they're making puns and different fun things regarding holidays and gift giving. So they have fun with their brand because they are a fun brand. They're not just an alcoholic brand, because there's more serious alcoholic brands out there that, demonstrate and advertise to a different crowd, but they want something fun, something light, easy, but also a little bit of wit and humor as well. And then, of course, even our price has to go back to our branding as well. So they wanted something that people could easily connect to. They didn't have to think twice about picking up that bottle of wine. So offering a price point at $10 made it easy for them to say, hey, let me just grab Yellowtail. It's something kind of cheap, but also really good and can please a crowd. So when we're thinking about the brand, also associate your price point with what brand impression you're looking to make. So for example, if you're looking to be more of a luxury brand, you can't be selling $30 purses. Your purses need to be minimum $1,000 and up. Well, if you're thinking of something that's more affordable, more economical, then you can start to then have a price point that represents that, as well as being demonstrated in your brand. So pricing can communicate volumes of what people can expect when they purchase your product. And then your branding follows suit in regards to what the price point looks like. So when we think about, luxury brands like Louis Vuitton or Chanel or Hugo Boss, there's elements of luxury, simple, clean lines, elements, a lot of white and brightness maybe on their logo, or not a lot of busyness, but very simple and to the point. Whereas maybe more economical brand might have colors and patterns and, funky logo designs. So the way we communicate also is telling our audience what price point they can be expecting when they engage with our product and service. And so with that, I'm going to hand it off to Miss Jessica Sinclair to talk about tools for brand marketing and how to identify your target audience.
Thank you so much, Alicia. And I hope everyone is taking notes. This is really powerful. Really and truly, your brand starts with you. So like Alicia mentioned, we love quotes. Quotes are powerful. Like, put them anywhere. I love a good Post-it, and all my quotes are on my Post-it. So your brand is a gateway to your true work. Think about that for a second, right? The world doesn't know you. This is your introduction to the world. And a lot of persons use visuals with colors, right? While others just use a actual graphic like the check for Nike. So really and truly understand that your brand is the gateway to the world for us to see your work. Finding your tribe, right? We are selling. We're in the sales business. No matter if you're one person brand, or you have collaborative, right? Or you're selling a product, you really and truly need to know who your target market is. Your potential client. Where do they work? What are they making yearly? What kind of lifestyle? Are they someone that likes sangria, or are they going to do like a Budweiser? How old are they? Where do they go to school? Where do they live? A lot of these things will help us to find our tribe. There are a lot of systems out there, analytics such as Google, that can allow you to find your tribe. This data is a lot of work to find on your own, let me just tell you, right? So you want to be able to collaborate with other companies that can help you right from the jump to teach you how to find your tribe. This is trial and error, and a lot of companies spend billions and billions of dollars every single year on target marketing. So target marketing is the packaging of your product, the design. Do you always wear a white shirt? When I started out doing public speaking, I always loved a nice red lip, which I have that on today. This is my brand. I love a good red lip. It shows my smile. It shows that I am here to serve. It makes people feel comfortable, right? Advertising. Nike has the white check. You don't even need to hear them say, just do it. Once you see the check on the product, you know what time it is. You know it's Nike. It's not really necessary to identify your target market in the beginning. I really wouldn't lose sleep on it, but understand that as your brand grows, you're going to need to do some market data. Also, understanding that market data will allow you to boost your business because now you know where they are. You know what they do. So that'll become easier. How to find your audience. Examine customer database. Like I said, you can do Google. There's other search engines out there online. Companies do a Google search and they can help you find your target market and examine who are they? Where do they live? How do they feel when they buy? I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I have to spend a lot of money, I have an attitude, right? Do you want that client that's going to have an attitude when you have a luxury product? No. You want to meet them where they're at with their behavioral traits. You have experts, you have scientists out there that solely focus on behavioral health. Very big niche. And of course, we wouldn't want to overbearing you with this information, but understanding how people feel when they purchase is really a big point. Figure out who your audience is, right? We talked about that in the beginning a little bit about their age, where do they work, what things make them feel good. This is all trial and error, and this is all data. Data will help you figure out who your people are, who your tribe are. I love this next one. Research competitors and industry trends. Anyone in business honestly should be subscribed to a publication that can teach. Learning is every single day. You have to know your market. You have to know who your competitors are, right? Is Nike in competition to Fila? Probably not, right? You have Yeezy, you have all these other celebrities that are coming out with products daily. Find out what they're doing. Find out what they're not doing. It's twofold. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Do a SWOT analysis. I know we're not talking about that in depth today, but jot that down. Google what that is, right? And that's going to allow you to break down your competitor's strategy by seeing what they're doing and what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. Create buyer's persona. This is when you have a fictionalized client, right? You kind of wanted them to be in the six-figure salary. I know I do. I want my client to make money so they can spend it wisely and strategic. You want to see what their challenges are. Do they have students in school? If they have college-age children, then they're not going to buy the Louis Vuitton bag. They may settle for a Gap bag this semester. So understand where they're at. Is it a two-parent home? Did the husband lose a job? These are things that are always going to affect when somebody is purchasing. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, companies spend billions of dollars with data companies, especially on the small business level where we all are, right? You just have to understand what is scalable and what is not. And I think you guys will be fine when it comes to finding your target audience. Social media. How should we utilize social media in order to find that target audience, in order to promote this new offer, right? Branding starts at our fingertips. So social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, those are all different avenues that can allow you to market your business. But today, we're going to talk about Instagram. And thank you, Alicia. So Instagram is where persons go to show photos of a product. Now things have changed, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in my diagram, where you have reels. Instagram understands their competitor, ladies and gentlemen. If they see that TikTok is a real platform that has videos, they are going to jump on that bandwagon. And that's what I love about Instagram. They're always changing. So we're on Instagram today, and I'm showing you my page, right? It says it's Jessica Sinclair. And like Alicia mentioned before, you only have a certain amount of seconds to grab that person to scroll down. So I want to get them right here in the beginning. I am an event host and speaker. I'm a best-selling author. And look what I did here. I made sure that each line of my offerings, and this is what this is real estate. Write that down, that your Instagram byline is free game. It is your real estate. You want to grab these people right away. So I am an event host. I'm a speaker. I broke that down. I'm a best-selling author. I didn't just write that I'm a registered nurse, and Alicia did not mention that earlier, but I am a registered nurse, but I want to show off here. I put that I'm a gastroenterology nurse. I want people to know that I'm in a specific part of nursing. I'm no longer at the bedside, but now I'm in a specialty. Okay, so you want to use words that will speak life to your brand. I also could have said, instead of event host, I could have said award-winning host. And sometimes I interchangeably put that up there. Be flexible, guys, with your byline. This is your real estate once again. I did not just write, I'm an educator. I put transformational. Once you leave our workshop, your life will change, right? We're telling you things that work because we have done it. We have used our own method time and time again. And so I am a transformational. I'm not a life coach. That may be for somebody else's brand. And you do not want to fib, and you don't want to exaggerate here, guys. I'm really giving you a lot of energy when it comes to this part of the programming, because they say that nine times out of 10, people are lying about their offering on Instagram. Keep it together. All right? Network like you mean it. This is my baby. This is my brainchild. And of course, I'm going to put that on my bio. Understand what I did here with the link tree, right? You don't want to overwhelm. You don't want to overwhelm with too many things in your byline. If we were to click on it, I'm not too sure if I have that capability here, but the link tree, oh, Alicia, you're so good. So this is what a link tree has to offer. It shows all my other packaging. This is also free. Jot this down. It allows you to have one link to talk about more about what you can offer. I encourage you guys all to sign up for a free LinkedIn account. And this shows a little bit more about what I can offer, and the testimonials. Also, yes, thank you for going back, Alicia. Here it says speaker inquiry. If you want me for, let's say, a speaking engagement, fill it out here. Fill-in forms are very gem. Google does it very well. You want to do a one-stop shop. You don't want people on too many different websites. So contact the Lynn MC. That's going to send you to my Sinclair Masters ceremonies page. I want to show off a little bit. I want to show people that I also have been published in other publications. It's not all of them, but if you ever get written up, pick one of the best ones to storytell and help bring that trajectory along with that one link. And we can go back to the main page now, Alicia. So sign up for a LinkedIn. It helps you continue with the story. I didn't want to talk too much in the bio about everything. Also, what Instagram has done very well, it allows you to continue with your brand colors. I have about 3 brand colors. This brand color is gray. And what I did was break it down into major things that can be archived. Think about maybe if you're a best-selling book, I have that here. That's where all my reviews are. If I'm doing a wedding and I killed that wedding and I really want everyone to see my energy, I'm going to click here. So please use this real estate, and it's very clean. As you can see, all the icons are in black. Everything is on brand. So as Alicia scrolls down, you notice that these are tiles, and these tiles tell a story. I don't overly post. Everyone's brand is different. I pick 3 days a week. And on those 3 days a week, those are the days that I'm going to share content. I'm a wedding host, so I do Wedding Wednesdays. Allow social media to help you categorize what you're posting. Okay, you have Flashback Friday. They did that very well. Throwback Thursday. Allow social media, ladies and gentlemen, to make your life easier when it comes to social media. Thank you, Alicia, going down. One thing that you'll notice on my page, I love a good reviewer or free game for coins. People want to know about experiences. Do not feel shy. It's not about you. It's about your company. Even if you are an individual like myself, you got to get your head out of the brand. It is bigger than you and how you feel. All right. And I show a little bit about everything, but strategic. On Wednesdays, it's Wedding Wednesdays. You need to Google and figure out what day of the week your brand should be posting. Okay. And so this is going to be a little bit of a homework. Scroll down, you see that I do corporate events here. I don't overly share. Once again, I have a lovely reel. And we'll talk about why Instagram has done that a little bit later. Alicia, thank you so much for sharing my Instagram page. So that was Jessica's Instagram takeover. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm very visual, and so I wanted you guys to see how really and truly Instagram can work. We didn't show you the hashtags, but I will go over it. Brand building and positioning. What can you offer? Now, here's the kicker. How different are you? How different are you? No one is saying to reinvent the wheel. That would be crazy. However, look at your content. I don't know if you know about this. Content is king. Okay? The more you can develop strategic content. Now, I said a key thing here, strategic. I don't need to know about your everyday life on Instagram, right? Or LinkedIn. Share strategic things on social media. So let's get right into the Instagram reels. What Instagram has discovered is that TikTok is winning on reels. What is a reel? A reel is straight to the point content in the video form that will allow you to bring better visibility, better shareability, and better discoverability, meaning that videos tend to live on the Explorer page longer than a photo. Now, why is that? Instagram has changed the algorithm. A lot of people are complaining about the algorithm. It changes ever so often. It's their page. They can do whatever they want. So if you have a video, you are going to be boosted up on that Explorer page so persons can see your page. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to be flexible in business. I cannot stress that enough. If they're telling you that they're boosting reels, I need you to do a video. And the video does not have to be about you. It could be about the brand. It could be a still image, but you're moving graphics around. That is considered a video, and you're introducing music to it so people can listen. Also, when you're doing videos and you're teaching and you only have about a minute on captions, let people read on the screen. People are at work and sometimes they can't watch the video with the music. You don't want to lose them. That could be your target audience right there. After you have the video on the Instagram page, you need engagement. You need engagement. You need to connect with the people. Have to meet the people where you're at. You're going to pick about 20 Instagram hashtags. They don't all have to be unique to your brand. One of mine and one of Alicia's for our both companies individual. It's the Career Mavericks. It's Alicia Campbell. It's Jessica Sinclair. I always tell my clients, pick about 5 creative ones that's on brand for you. And then you're going to pick others that have to do with your business. So if you're a shoemaker, local shoemaker, local bakery, in the town of wherever you reside. You want to do that because there's something called geographical tags. And if I'm in the area of Long Island where I do live and I'm in the town of Baldwin, I want that business that person to see my business rather based on where I am. And also you want to tag it on top where it says location. Do not be discovered because you were playing it safe or that you were lazy. Instagram gives you everything that you need. You have to just click and do the work. Okay, branding and visibility is how companies thrive. Today, we're on this lovely platform with the chambers, and we are now in front of a different community. So when they hashtag our videos, and people see that we're on the US Chambers, now maybe they'll come to our page. The name of the game is to get eyeballs on your page. That is a method, right? Since we started this workshop today, we have taught you guys many different methods. Marketing is 360, right? It's a whole circle bigger than what we can think of based on the things that we can do. Let me say that again. Marketing is integrated. It's not a one-stop shop. I just had to put that out there. I love this next tip. Facebook groups. I received 4 bookings already on Facebook. Rather, it's my wedding platform or it's my educational platform. You want to be around like-minded individuals. They have longislandbrides.com, right? It's a magazine, but ladies and gentlemen, I put it in my Facebook search and I found them there. So not only am I on their website, but now this group is more focused because it's people who need help. Create a Facebook group for your service and just start inviting people in your community. And from there, it will grow. Facebook groups have to be strategic. You have to engage, just like Instagram. You may want to put a question out there. Anybody still tie their shoelaces anymore? Something like that. We're talking about the shoemaker who's out there in our group, and they want to know how to tie a shoelace. They want to know where the latest manufacturer is. These are the questions that you're going to raise. Facebook groups, in order for them to grow, guys, you have to engage. You have to engage or you're going to lose people. They're going to log off. They're not going to like it. Reason being, the people that are in the Facebook groups, new customers, they want to engage, they want help. Be a solution, right? The average business thrives, guys, because they know how to solve a problem. Solve a problem for your client, pose a question in the group, and you will see a lot of differences in your brand. LinkedIn. Love a good LinkedIn. For all my career-minded individuals out there, this is for us. This is where we go. And you can also create a business page on LinkedIn. So they're doing a little bit of both now on LinkedIn. You could also be a part of networking groups. LinkedIn is very strategic for networking, helps to build credibility. I know Alicia, she gets so many awards because she's very credible on LinkedIn. She does a lot of articles on LinkedIn, and they have badges that will show you as an expert. Hello, screaming brand, right? I'm getting excited because a lot of people are losing money on the table because they're not leveraging their LinkedIn page. Create a meaningful network on LinkedIn. Show your expertise, similar to the bio that I mentioned, free real estate. Don't tell us what you're doing. Give us a story. What have you done? Did you reduce financial costs for your company? Show off here. What did you do? This is what LinkedIn likes. They want you to show off a bit, right? Are you the numbers girl? Put that on there. You crunch numbers. Give a personality on your LinkedIn bio as well. And I mentioned before, you can become an industry leader on LinkedIn based on the information that you're putting there. And I'm going to kick it back over to Alicia for understanding corporate selling. Alicia?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica. It's interesting. We have all these different platforms, and I want to take a little bit of a beat because I know it is a lot of information. Some of these concepts and tools might be new for you, and that is okay. This is a starting point. Jessica was at square one once upon a time ago. I was at square one once upon a time ago. So if we can do it, if we can find the resources and the tools and navigate these platforms, you are just as capable as well to get your arms around this and begin to start to think how to use these platforms to make them work for you. And that's what's really key. What is going to work for you? If your audience is not on LinkedIn, then don't worry about that platform. That platform is not for you. If your buyers are on Instagram, that's where you need to be. That's where you need to be focusing. So by understanding our customers, our target audiences, tying that back to the brand and the experience, then makes that marketing part and outlining what platforms and how we use these tools a lot easier. So just wanted to kind of share those insights because it can be overwhelming. It can seem like a lot, but when you do a lot of the pre-work, it makes deciding how you're going to utilize those tools a lot easier. So now we're going to talk a little bit about understanding corporate selling. So selling B2B or business to business, especially for those who have a service offering. I'm a service provider. I do, obviously career coaching and consulting and training with Jessica as part of the Career Mavericks. I do diversity, equity, and inclusion work. Jessica does other educational things as well as a service as a, the lit MC. So for those who are more service-based brands and you want to get more corporate clients, this is kind of the key content you want to be mindful of and aware of. So another great quote to kind of help bring everything into context is identity is a cause, brand is the effect, and the strength of the former influences the strength of the latter. So identity and brand go hand in hand. You need to know exactly who you're selling to so that your brand can speak in spaces that you're not a part of yet. So a key thing with selling B2B or business to business or anyone in the corporate space, and even before we get into that, the difference between B2C, which is business to consumer, and business to business is that I am a business, right? I have an LLC or I have a corporation, and I'm selling, say, to Jessica, who is looking for a career mentor. I am selling to a consumer. Jessica, in my example, doesn't have a business. She's an individual, and I'm using my business, my offerings as a business to sell to an individual. So that's B2C. B2B, on the other hand, is business selling to business. So my business selling to Jessica's business as the lit MC. And so it's a different type of navigation we need to understand because the tools and tactics I'm going to use to market and brand for a B2C avenue is going to be different than a B2B. And that again goes back to the tools we use and the way that we funnel that information. So knowledge is power. You can expand your brand by positioning yourself as an expert in your field and sharing your knowledge in a way by engaging your audiences and other businesses through training. So exactly what Jessica had just walked us through. Positioning ourselves as the expert is key to what businesses are looking for. A business wants to work with experts because they have a problem. Businesses have problems they need solved every single day. It doesn't matter what you do. If it's in the HR space, accounting, finance, operations, project management, people issues, supply chain issues, marketing issues, platform, anything under the sun that a business does and integrates with on an operational perspective, they will have a challenge with. They are looking for an expert, another business to kind of help and solve their problem. And so one key way that you can then connect with your audience and begin to establish your authority is through training. This is the exact methodology that I use as part of my own marketing funnel. So I'm going to be teaching you exactly what I do on a week-by-week basis on how I connect with organizations for them to hire my business as an expert in the problem they need to solve. So the key thing when you're positioning yourself as an expert is that you have to have a platform in which people are going to find you. So when we think about opportunities for us to be seen, there's really two key ways that we can do that. One, we can do a webinar. So very similar to what we're doing right now with the Black Chambers and getting in front of, a new audience like we are this evening. Or we can do more coaching, like providing group coaching or one-to-one coaching. We want to understand the channels that will allow us as service providers to pass on our expertise. And so webinars are an incredible way for us to do that by promoting on those platforms like Jessica had just shared, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, even Eventbrite. Getting people in front of what you're offering is going to be key. And so by having a webinar, you're attracting your exact target audience. I do micro 30-minute trainings on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And when I promote that webinar, I'm getting HR people who are solving D&I issues in their organization. That's my exact target audience. So by having these webinars and giving some insight into the work that I do and my expertise, I'm then lining them up to buy and purchase my more expensive offerings as an expert within the consulting space. So in addition to the purpose of the webinar and how it becomes a funnel, which we'll talk about in a minute, it helps to increase my brand awareness. People know myself, they know my brand, the HR brand Culture Shift HR. I'm seen as a thought leader, as Jessica said. Through my work, I've been recognized in multiple awards. I've had different accolades in different magazines and different features. When those things happen, I'm continuing to get deep rooted as being that expert that people want to connect with. I'm able to increase my purchase or subscriptions to my membership or to my community, which is the ultimate goal when we host these types of webinars and sessions. Further, we want to educate people and we want to provide an opportunity for the content to be repurposed. This is really, really key. As service providers, when we think about our expertise, we cannot be reinventing the wheel every single time. If you are utilizing social media and you're doing quick reels on solving problems, pick a topic that you know very deeply and create a 20-minute training on it. And then, take a different angle and do the same thing next week, and then post it on Facebook and then again on LinkedIn. So we're not here asking you to, now be a content creator and having to push out all these contents. No, you pick one key element, slice it and dice it a couple ways, and you have content that can last you months.
Alicia,
yes.
I want to chime in really quick because I think this is also good. When Alicia and I started out, we did lives together. So honestly, everything that we're teaching you guys today, we truly have lived this life. And what I thought that really worked for us as a new brand, combining, we did a lot of lives and we interviewed experts in their field as well. So again, if you are a beautician out there and you do the best haircuts, why not do a video of you actually cutting their hair, talking to the client? It doesn't have to feel so stiff, right? A webinar may sound a little bit, oh my God, I'm scared, or coaching, but incorporate other people in the videos. I just had to say that because you're not alone out there. And when you do for others, things will come back to you. And now you have other eyes on your brand. So also interview other people in your field. There's enough for everyone. And I think when you collaborate, it takes the edge off when you're starting out doing webinars and stuff. If they're free, they're free. If they're not, but you're not alone. This is all at your fingertips. Just got to be a little bit creative. Sorry, Alicia, I had to just jump in.
No, I love that. And that's such a great perspective, connecting with other experts. You don't need to do it alone. You can do a shared live, a joint webinar, lean in on someone else's expertise. What's a parallel? If you provide a service, to Jessica's example, in the beauty space, get somebody who does makeup. Yep. Hair and makeup go hand in hand. So now you're providing a whole experience and a panel of experts to help speak to your audience. So those simple things can be incredibly effective. So how do all of these things come back to your sales funnel? Because at the end of the day, we have a brand to make money. We have marketing tools to make money. We are creating content to make money. So how does this align to your sales funnel? So to take it, a step back for a moment, what a sales funnel is, and you kind of see the photo of the funnel on the right-hand side, is that it's really a visual representation of the journey that you want your audience to go through until they complete a purchase. And this is really key because what we need to understand as either a product or a service provider is that there is a buyer's journey. The moment somebody interacts with your product or service, they are on a journey. And it is your job as the product owner to make sure they stay on that journey as long as possible until they click the buy button. And so there's different things from what we talked about, whether it's the webinar, having a newsletter, going live, selling your subscription, your service, your product, etc. You want to have different milestones and journeys along the way until they click and buy your product. And so what the webinars or the coaching or the different opportunities of you being visible online is that it's creating a moment of trust being created between you and the seller. We have so much content coming at us every which way. It doesn't even matter. It's content overload. And so people, they're really looking for that strategic element of, who am I going to trust with my money? I work hard for my money. I work, very dedicated, but I need help, or I need what this person is selling. But do I really want to give you my money? Do I really want to kind of part ways with someone that I don't really know, that, I'm not very familiar with, that, may not really deliver on what they say they're going to deliver on? That's why building trust along the sales process is key. And the way we build trust is through the elements of our content, the webinars, our newsletters, doing lives, showing up. You have to show up for your people, because the more you get familiar with them, the more they will begin to trust you, the more they'll dig into your content and start to see you as that expert that they need to have as the solution to their problem. So whether we know it or not, in all the elements, we are creating a sales funnel, but it's important we understand this first journey so we can make sure that we're landing them to the end zone, which is them creating an opportunity to buy or purchase. And creating a sales funnel, it can be as simple or as elaborate as we want it to be, but it does take some time to perfect. So don't worry if you begin to create opportunities for people to buy and you're not getting them. Know that it takes time. Look at the content, look at the messaging you're portraying. What is it that you're solving? Does it connect back to your freebies, to your downloadables, to ways people can engage and connect with you? So look to see where there might be some breakage along the line. But when you create that sales funnel, you're creating that opportunity for people to connect and buy your product or service. This is also just a quick representation of what a more detailed funnel can look like, of what a buyer process goes through. So from awareness to interest to evaluation to engaging, those people who engage your content, liking, commenting, they're at the engagement phase. Then to purchase, so when they bought it, all the way to loyalty, where they go through and purchase again and again and again. So the faster you're able to move them through this funnel, the faster you're going to get them to the bottom line. But it might take different tactics based on your audience, based on your brand, and ultimately what you're selling as your product or service. So again, you can't necessarily start a brand today and expect to have a six-figure launch the next day, unless you've already been building an audience in the background. You go through these stages and these processes to help bring that awareness and that interest to what you do, and ultimately create the audience that will then eventually buy from you. Okay, I won't go over this in detail, but to know that building a sales funnel does take different steps, from looking at our audience, establishing goals, creating, communicating, and engaging, and ultimately encouraging our audience to buy. And that's a really key thing. And I'm going to just speak on that for a second. A lot of times we probably have networks already established. We already have people who want to buy from us, who believe in our product and our service, but we haven't asked for the sale. Ask for the sale. Tell them, I want you to buy from me. I want you to buy my product. I want you to buy my service. And they will. Sometimes people just need that push. So don't be afraid to ask for the money, ask for that purchase, because they will buy.
Right. And also, you don't necessarily have to say, hey, this is $12.99. It's the best darn thing. Explain why it is. And I think a lot of people are overly selling when it comes to their brand. Tell the story. We want to know that you're the best darn MC. Why? Energy, show them. Bring them that visualization with the video. And I think that's what makes the TikTok so great. I can see Jessica. Wow, look at her. She's all over the place. She's jumping, this, that, and the third. Show them. And then that's how the sale can be made as well. We're not also teaching only about copy, but visuals. Let the visuals tell the story. Your brand is your voice. It is the best souvenir that's out there. Only you know your brand. You got to show it off. You have to. It is bigger than you. For all my shy people out there, you have to remove yourself from your brand. That's the only way your brand is going to thrive. It takes 5 years for people to recognize a brand. 5 years. And in that 5 years, that's when a business sinks or floats. So give yourself grace, give yourself time to create the brand. I changed my logo at least 7 times in 5 years. And that's so great. That's okay. That shows growth. The more I learn, the more I adapt and I change. Be flexible. Be flexible. Understand your sale points. Understand the things that you say you're going to do. You got to do it. You have to do it. And also, lastly, because I know for the sake of time, you have to solve the problem. You have to solve the problem. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much again for coming out and listening to the Career Mavericks. It's important that you connect with us offside of the session. So whether it's an email, joining us on LinkedIn, of course, Instagram, as well as our respective websites, reach out to us. Let us know what challenges you're having, and we'd love to help and support. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Jessica to talk about her little surprise.
Yeah. So surprise. So, Alicia and I, we are 2 different brands. I would love to help anyone that needs help on understanding more about branding and understanding your voice through networking. I have a downloadable that launched today, a soft launch. You can go ahead and download it. It'll come right into your inbox. It is the best darn guide out there to help you leverage who you are and what you want to share with the world. Alicia also has a coaching series that's kicking off where you need to snag a seat. It'll walk you through a 5-week intensive course Is it Alicia?
Yeah.
Tell them,
Yes.
girl. And
Yes.
really and truly, the things that we do really comes from the heart. This book is my second book. People have asked me to get a little bit down and dirty with it, to actually tell them more about the sauce out there. And I'm here to serve servant leadership. So thank you guys so much for seeing the value. And until next time, thank you guys again. So that's
Jessica?
such a great question. Yeah, Phil always hits us with a good one out of the park. Good question. Nobody really has time for surveys, Phil. That's another thing for us to do. We're not doing Service Monkey. We do that in an educational platform, but really and truly, you have to allow these algorithms to pull information for you. If I had a moment to show you guys again on your business page, I didn't mention that before. Your Instagram needs to be a business page because you have something called insights, Phil. All right. And the insights tells you who is clicking on that ad, who is clicking on that little title box on the feed. And it'll tell you where they are, right? And again, they're not going to give you the whole bill and receipt, as my mom would say, Phil. I had to throw that out there with my mom's little sayings, right? You're not going to get the whole bill and receipt, but what you will get is 5 things, Phil. You're going to know where they are. You're going to know if they're male or female, which is big for certain companies and certain brands. If you're a wedding designer, you may want to know where the bride is, right? Also, what Instagram is going to do is tell you their age group, right? So where they live, age group, depending on what the ad was, it may tell you their income. But like I mentioned before, Phil, you got to do some work. You got to do Google Analytics. You have to go into Facebook. When you go into Facebook, they have plugins. They're called plugins, and they crawl your page. I mean, this workshop could be days long if I really get down into what social media can do, Phil, for our target audience. It's mind-boggling. You have authors out there that talk about that integrative marketing, and it teaches you softwares to pull it. I don't know everyone's budget tuning in, but I think you got to utilize the Instagram insights right away. You have to, and make sure your page is on business. That way they can pull that stuff for you. But surveys and snail mail, it's just too time consuming. Somebody else already bought the purchase somewhere else. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. Thank you.
Next question. That's a great question. So building a community is really key. And what's interesting about building community is you're doing it whether you recognize it or not. Mm-hmm. Those who are engaging with your content, commenting, liking your posts, you're slowly building a community. So if you want to build one intentionally, what you want to really do is start to align and see who is actually engaging with your content, who are the ones that are cheering you on the sidelines, engaging with your posts, attending your webinars, and really being activated from a group perspective. And so if you're building a membership, a community, what's key is that you need to understand that platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, we don't own them. other people do. So it's important that you get your community on your own mailing list. Set up a simple Google form so that you can get their emails, because emails is still a great way to engage and to get people a part of the messaging that you have aligned to them. So by simply utilizing Linktree, like Jessica shared, have a simple form, get people to register, maybe attach a downloadable or a tip sheet to make it fun, but getting those emails is critical, because if any of those platforms go down, so does your network and so does your community. So having those emails is a key way of keeping in touch with them. And then finding what works for them. Like, you see that they like more things or content versus others, engage and utilize that as an opportunity to create more of that content.
Yeah, and just to piggyback, it takes time to really under content that you're putting out there and what things are happening behind the scenes. So, like I said, it's all about being strategic. If Mondays is a day for your analytics, make it be Monday. Make it be the best Monday of your best 10 minutes of your life, because you can be creating reels that are just not working. And that happened to me before. I was doing more photos. Once I turned over, guys, to videos to show my energy, my business changed. Referrals, right? And what Alicia said, something that was key, Phil, you got to give the information up. I mean, if you are an expert in your field, you can come up with more content. You have to understand that people are looking for your expertise. It is how you thrive in a business. You got to give some free tips away. You have to go on Canva. Oh, the best 10 tips to be the best real estate mogul. Whatever it is, you have to understand that you got to play very fair in the sandbox and give away some free information. Yeah. Okay.